This wasn't just another night in the NBA. It was a reminder of why basketball can be so unpredictable, so thrilling, and sometimes downright shocking. Two big men, known for their fierce competitiveness, locked horns in a confrontation so intense that the game itself seemed to fade into the background. Plumlee and Steven Adams, both respected for their hustle and physicality, found themselves in a sequence that quickly escalated from a routine play to a near wrestling match on the polished hardwood. Yet behind the dramatic showdown lies a deeper story, one of pride, team identity, and the lengths players will go to when the stakes are high. In the blink of an eye, a standard rebound battle turned into a chaotic struggle, coaches and referees rushing in to separate them. And while the fight itself lasted mere seconds, its ripple effects would be felt long after the final buzzer. The incident highlighted something fundamental about professional basketball. Beneath the highlight reel dunks and smooth three-pointers lies a physically demanding game where territorial battles rage constantly. The painted area isn't just court space, it's contested ground where reputation matters as much as skill, where giving an inch might mean surrendering your team's psychological edge. But what exactly set the stage for this explosive clash? To truly understand, we need to go beyond just one game. We'll explore the context, team tensions, personal rivalries, and how on-court jabs can turn into full-fledged showdowns when neither side backs down. By the end, you'll understand why, in an era often criticized for its softness, moments like these still capture our attention, proving that beneath the polished NBA product, raw competitive fire still burns as intensely as ever. Before delving into the confrontation itself, we must understand its protagonists. Steven Adams and Plumlee, while occupying similar positions on the court, arrived at this moment through markedly different paths. Adams, the New Zealander with Tongan heritage, emerged from a remarkable family of athletes. One of 18 siblings, his sister Valerie is an Olympic gold medalist in shot put. His journey to the NBA was unlikely. From Rotorua to the University of Pittsburgh for just one collegiate season before being drafted 12th overall in 2013. Standing 7 feet tall with a frame that could make heavyweight boxers reconsider their career choices, Adams built his reputation as the immovable object in a league of unstoppable forces. His approach to the game was refreshingly old school. Set bone-jarring screens, fight for every rebound, and never show pain. Former teammates speak of Adams taking elbows to the ribs that would sideline others, only to respond with a casual smile and a disarming, "Good on you, mate." This stoicism made him both respected and frustrating to opponents. Plumlee represents American basketball aristocracy. One of 3 brothers to reach the NBA, he emerged from Duke University under legendary coach Mike Krzyzewski. Selected in the same draft class as Adams, Plumlee brought athleticism and versatility to the center position. Where Adams was brute force, Plumlee was calculated energy, diving for loose balls, making timely cuts, and using his basketball IQ as much as his physical gifts. At 6'11", he wasn't the most imposing center, but his relentless motor made him valuable to every team he joined. Despite their differences, both men shared an essential quality. Neither backed down. In a league increasingly dominated by perimeter play, they represented a dying breed. True interior battlers who measured success in floor burns and rebounding statistics rather than scoring averages. The Adams-Plumlee confrontation wasn't born in a vacuum. Like most NBA feuds, it germinated slowly through a series of minor incidents spanning multiple seasons and teams. Their first notable encounter occurred 3 seasons prior, during a physical playoff series where Plumlee's team eliminated Adams' squad in 6 hard-fought games. During Game 4, Adams set a screen that sent Plumlee sprawling, legal but punishing. Later that quarter, Plumlee delivered a forearm shiver while fighting for a rebounding position that prompted an official review but resulted in just a common foul. The following season, they exchanged words after Adams appeared to hook Plumlee's arm during a free throw. The moment passed without escalation, but teammates noticed the tension. "You could see it building," said one veteran point guard who played with Adams. "Nothing major, just professional competitiveness with a dash of genuine dislike." That happens more than fans realize. The broader team context provided fertile ground for conflict. Their respective squads had developed a genuine rivalry. Not the manufactured kind that marketing departments love, but an authentic, competitive animosity born from high-stakes games and clashing styles. Adams' team had built their identity around physical, defensive-minded basketball, Their coach, a former NBA enforcer himself, preached toughness above all. "We might not outshoot you, sis," he'd tell reporters, "but nobody outworks us." Plumlee's organization, conversely, prided themselves on versatility and pace. Though not soft by any measure, they emphasized movement and skill over raw power. Their coach viewed basketball as chess, while his counterpart saw it more as boxing. These philosophical differences created natural tension. The previous season's playoff matchup between these teams had gone 7 games, culminating in a 1-point victory for Plumlee's side in a game where 3 technical fouls were assessed in the final quarter alone. By tip-off time for this fateful matchup, both players carried not just personal history, but the weight of organizational pride. A rookie on Adams' team had casually mentioned to reporters that their game plan involved testing Plumlee's toughness early. The quote spread quickly through basketball social media, another small but significant log on the fire. The tension had been brewing for weeks. By the time they faced off again, fans were already expecting fireworks. On paper, the game was critical. Adams' old team fighting for optimal playoff seeding, Plumlee's trying to solidify their position while silencing critics questioning their toughness. From the opening quarter, it was clear this wouldn't be a finesse game. Body checks were heavier, the trash talk louder. The referees called fouls here and there, but the physicality never relented. The first quarter established the tone. Adams collected 2 offensive rebounds in the opening possessions, bodying Plumlee under the rim on both. After the second, cameras caught a brief verbal exchange, with Adams' unmistakable Kiwi accent carrying across the court. "Mate, all night." Plumlee responded with a screen so firm that Adams' teammate needed a moment to regain his bearings. By the second quarter, the game's announcers were commenting on the brewing tension. "These guys are really getting after it inside, Wes," noted the color commentator. "That's about the 4th time Adams and Plumlee have tangled up. Something's brewing there." Indeed, something was. During an inbounds play, Plumlee used his forearm to create separation, catching Adams in the ribs. Adams retaliated on the next possession with a hip check that sent Plumlee stumbling toward the baseline. Neither action drew a whistle, but both teams' benches noticed. Steven Adams, known for his unshakable presence, wasn't about to let his team get bullied. On the other side, Mason Plumlee, part of a basketball family defined by grit, refused to back down. As the game wore on, screens became collisions, rebounds turned into full-contact battles, and a stray elbow or two flew. The confrontation was inevitable. The crowd, aware of the history between these teams, could feel the tension thickening with every play. It was no longer just about a regular season win. It was about dominance, respect, and proving which team was tougher when playoffs loomed just weeks away. Early in the second quarter, the first hints of a brewing battle surfaced. During a routine box-out, Adams and Plumlee tangled under the rim. Adams established position first, but Plumlee pushed back with his shoulder. Their arms locked momentarily, drawing a quick separation instruction from the official. A replay caught Adams giving Plumlee a quick glance, as if warning him not to push further. Plumlee, unfazed, met his gaze with equal intensity. In basketball, these minor run-ins happen all the time. But Adams isn't just any player. Known for absorbing contact without flinching, teammates joke that his pain receptors were surgically removed, he rarely shows emotion. When he does, veteran players take notice. Plumlee, meanwhile, had carved out a niche as a high-energy interior presence. Giving ground meant losing the psychological edge, something big men thrive on. The next flashpoint came 3 minutes later. As Adams' team ran a pick and roll, Plumlee hedged hard, bodying Adams in the process. Adams responded with a reverse shoulder that sent Plumlee backpedaling. No call. On the ensuing possession, Plumlee established deep post position. As he pivoted for a hook shot, Adams contested vertically but absorbed significant contact from Plumlee's off arm. The whistle blew, offensive foul on Plumlee. Plumlee immediately protested. The referee remained unmoved. A courtside microphone picked up Plumlee telling a teammate, "He's flopping now, didn't think I'd see that from him." Then came the moment that lit the fuse. As both scrambled for a loose ball following a missed jumper, their arms locked. Neither let go. A referee's whistle blew, but the two 7-footers remained locked in a standoff. The crowd fell silent for a split second before erupting. Then, in an instant, Plumlee tried to yank free, and Adams responded by using his hip and shoulder to shift momentum. The result? A takedown that looked straight out of a wrestling match. This was no ordinary scuffle. This was personal. The force of the collision sent both crashing to the hardwood, limbs entangled, as their teammates scrambled to pull them apart. Fans gasped, then roared. You could almost feel the energy shift in the arena. This was the kind of moment that transcends the game itself. Adams and Plumlee provided a window into basketball's dual nature. At once a showcase for athletic grace, and a battleground where physical dominance still matters. Their confrontation wasn't an aberration from basketball's essence, but rather a distillation of it, stripped of pretense and reduced to its most fundamental competitive element. Two men, unwilling to yield ground. For that brief, chaotic moment, they weren't just playing basketball, they were embodying it in its most primal form.